Hey, my name's Jason Nicholson. Welcome to my YouTube channel. The budget's tomorrow. There's a lot of potential tax rises for everyone that watches this channel. And potentially some of them are getting rolled back. You see, over the last few months, the government has been leaking ideas and strategies and things they were proposing to do in the budget to just see how the media reacted and see how the general public react to them. Some of you watching this channel have reacted quite badly to most of them. In fact, there's not much good news expected tomorrow. But what we might see is some of the stuff that they actually release. While it might be bad news, it might not be as bad as what they were releasing in these leaks. So at the end of the day, the public go, well, it wasn't as bad as it could have been. But ultimately, it's not going to be a good one. So we're going to jump into all of the potential tax rises that we could see tomorrow and some of them that are potentially not going to happen now. Now, before we jump into this, if you're new around here and you haven't done already, do subscribe to the channel over there and hit that bell notification. We've just hit 51,000 subscribers, and by subscribing, you'll get all the latest house price news, interest rate news, property investing tips, and much, much more. And while you're here, let's get some views on this video. How do we do that? Well, your part's simple. Smash like, tickle like, do something to that like button. That really helps with the YouTube algorithm, and that really has helped the channel grow. So thanks to everyone that does that. So let's talk about all of these potential updates that we've got tomorrow. One of the worst ones, I think this is going to be a disaster if this happens, is national insurance. Now, there's a reason for that, because what they're potentially proposing, and it's still in the mix, this one, is putting national insurance onto rental income. Now, national insurance up to 50 grand is around 8%. But what that means is that landlords are likely to pass that cost on to tenants because they're not making a lot of money at the moment. Most landlords make on average £2,000 per property because a lot of them own property in their personal name. Now, this could have some benefits for people that have retired because potentially they won't pay national insurance. So that would give them a little bit of an unfair advantage. But also those that now invest in limited companies, they would likely avoid this as well, because landlords that invest via a limited company, which is in the property accelerator training that we've got on Black Friday at the moment, we teach you to do that. And that's how I currently invest in property, through a limited company. Then you don't pay Section 24 tax, and you're unlikely to have to pay national insurance as well. So this is going to hit landlords that own property in their own name if it hits, and likely those costs will get passed on to tenants, and lots of landlords would end up quitting and make the rental market even smaller. So this one is still in the mix. Let's see. Let me know in the comments whether you think this is likely to happen tomorrow or not. And then after the budget, about within half an hour or an hour after the budget, I'm going to be making an update video and we can see who was right and who was wrong. So let me know. I'd like to know what you think. Next is the mansion tax. And so the mansion tax is something that is for properties over £2 million. It's been said that it could be 0.5% of the value above, or 1%. 1% seems to be the more common consensus, meaning if you had a £3 million property, you would now get an annual bill of £10,000. Now, a lot of people say, good, tax the rich. And that's maybe something that we should look at doing more of. But in my opinion, it shouldn't be on the property they live with. It should be on their income, and not allow them to have lots of tax loopholes to get away with paying lots of tax on income earned. I think that's a fairer way to do it, because there are people that bought a property in London. They bought well many decades ago, and it could be just a small little flat, and they could fall into this level, and they can afford the property as it is now. It's their family home. They've lived there for years, and they could be forced out. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's right. What do you think about that? Let me know in the comments below. But the mansion tax is still floating around. The media's picking up on this one nearly every single day. And so I think that's something that we have to contend with tomorrow. And I think, personally, if they do launch the mansion tax, I don't think the general public will give them much backlash on that one, because most people don't live in £2 million houses. But what this could end up being is a stealth tax. So what I mean by that is it starts at £2 million. Then in a few years, they drop it to £1.1 million. And everyone's still like, well, I don't live in that. And then it drops to £1 million. Over time, a lot of properties are going to be increasing in value, getting closer to that £1 million level. And every year you'll get more properties that fall into that category. And suddenly they get valued with this mansion tax, or hit with this mansion tax. That's what's happening with income tax at the moment. The threshold, what is it, 13 odd grand? It's been stuck there for a long, long time. So every year, as people get pay rises, more people are jumping into that taxable level, even if they're working on a part-time basis. This is how stealth tax works. I think that's what could happen here. So I think that one's likely tomorrow. I think national insurance is 50-50. I think mansion tax is 90% nailed on, because I don't think the government will get a massive backlash on that one, and that's what they're looking for. And the next one I want to talk about is stamp duty. And the Times and the Guardian have talked about stamp duty this week. They've looked at it, they've interviewed the government, and they don't think that there's any changes coming in that stamp duty. So there was talk about having property tax, and that would be, stamp duty would be abolished for new sales on properties above £500,000. That means ones below would still have that, buy-to-lets would still have that, second homes would still have that, but properties above would go on to a property tax. They would stop paying council tax. They'd pay an annual tax, which would be significantly lower than a big lump sum. They do this in America. It's not popular, because when people get to retirement age, they really struggle to keep up with those payments as their income drops. So stamp duty changes. The other talked about part was that they potentially would make it, to get the property market moving, that you could pay your stamp duty in instalments over multiple years. That was discussed. That's not looking like it's likely to happen as well. So two major things here that I don't think are going to happen. I think the national insurance is not massively likely. I think the stamp duty one, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen either, and neither do the press now. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. So big times tomorrow in the budget. I don't think it's going to be a positive one. I think the media might spin it that it wasn't as bad as it could have been. And if that does happen, that's good marketing by the government. That's, of course, what they want to do. Let me know what you think about it below. And before you go, do make sure you do check out our Black Friday offer. A few hundred of you have grabbed this now. So thank you to everyone that's joined. And we will teach you how to set up property the right way in 2026 and beyond. So if they do put national insurance in, you can afford it. You don't have to pay Section 24 tax. You can buy properties below market value and add value to them, and then high cash flow strategies after that, serviced accommodation, HMOs, and all of that stuff. If you don't have big deposits, you can do a rent-to-rent strategy. We cover that in there as well. All of this stuff is absolutely game-changing, and it sets you up to really understand how to take advantage of a difficult property market. And that's when opportunity is around. Buy-to-let is really hard now, so you need these other strategies to be really smart and take it forward. So at least check it out. It's in the description, it's in the first comment. Obviously Black Friday's only got a few days left, so take some action on that now. Do smash like, do subscribe, and check out all the other content as well on the channel, including this video right here.